Hello and welcome to life lesson number 1, the most powerful math force. Oh yeah, after each chapter I like to take a day off and talk about how we can apply the math we just learned to our lives. And if we can do this, that's maybe the most important part of this class. I mean, learning math is good, but learning how you can apply it in your life, that's even better. So today we're going to talk about life lesson number 1, and before we do, I want to share this video with you.
In the 1960s, a professor at Stanford University began a modest experiment testing the willpower of 4-year-old children. He placed before them a large marshmallow and then told them they could eat it right away, or if they waited for 15 minutes or so, they could have 2 marshmallows. He then left the children alone and watched what happened behind a two-way mirror. Some of the children ate the marshmallow immediately. Some could wait only a few minutes before giving in to temptation. Only 30% were able to wait. What started as a simple experiment with children and marshmallows became a landmark study suggesting that the ability to wait, to be patient, was a key character trait that might predict later success in life.
Oh, how I love President Uchtdorf. He is so awesome. And this message is amazing because he identifies one of the main traits, a key principle that we need to be able to have in our lives to be successful. And that is the ability to wait, to delay self-gratification. And that's what I want to talk about, because if you can delay self-gratification, if you can wait, you can be like these 4-year-olds. Remember? They were 4 years old, 4 years old. And only some of them could wait. Do you remember what percentage it was? Oh yeah, you got it. Only 30%. Only 30% can wait. I often wonder, why could only 30%, why could some wait and others not? Was it something their parents taught them? Is it just something that they came with? Is it pre-programmed when we come down to earth? It could be either. It doesn't matter. What is most important is that we develop this characteristic. Because if we can wait, if we can say, ooh, I'm not going to do something now so that I can have some benefit later, then we'll be greatly blessed. And so that's super important. 4 years old, only 30% could wait. That means 70% of us are going to struggle with this. You might struggle with patience in your life, or the ability to wait, or say, hey, I'm not going to do this because I could get this in the future. So if we have this, great things can happen. Later on in the talk, he says this, but as time went on, he, meaning the professor that did this study, kept track of the children and began to notice an interesting correlation. Those that could not wait struggled later in life. They had behavioral problems, they struggled, while those that could wait, so those that had the patience, the ability to delay self-gratification, they tended to be more positive, they were better motivated, they had higher grades, higher incomes, and healthier relationships. This is amazing. In fact, many studies have been done since this study, and they found out that many people who are financially successful in life have this characteristic, the ability to wait, to say, you know what, I'm not going to do this right now, because I think if I wait, this could happen. In fact, one of the most powerful math formulas has to do with your ability to wait. And I want to talk about that right now. Here he is, Albert Einstein. Oh yeah, this guy said that the most powerful math force in the universe, in fact, he called it the 8th wonder of the world, is compound interest. Oh my goodness, compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. So you might go back and think about that video that Elder Uchtdorf was talking about. The idea was if you could wait 15 minutes, you don't get 1 marshmallow, you get 2. So the idea is the longer that we can wait, the more interest we could earn. And that is created in a formula that I'm going to write up right now. The formula for compound interest is F equals P times 1 plus R to the T power. This is a simple formula. It involves parentheses, it involves exponents. And so if you know order of operations, which we've learned in chapter 1, operations, you'll be able to apply this math formula in your life. Let's talk about what each of these means. First of all, the F. The F means future. How much money you'll have in the future. Ooh. P represents the present. How much money you have in the present. Okay. Then you got a 1 and you got a plus and an R. An R is the rate of return. So how much that might be an interest, that might be an investment. What's the interest rate or the investment rate or the rate of return that you'll get? Now that'll be a percent, okay? And T represents, oh yeah, time. And not just any time, your wait time. Just like President Uchtdorf said, the ability to wait can predict future success in life. This formula only works if you are able to wait. The way compound interest works is you will take some of your money, set it aside. You might put it into an account at a bank. You might invest some of it. But basically, you're saying, I'm giving up a little bit of my money right now so that I can have more in the future. That's how we apply the compound interest formula. We can do an example. Let's do one. Let's say we got a missionary and he saved up $1,000 before he left on his mission. And he decides, hey, I'm going to put this into a bank or a credit union that's going to get me 3% interest, and I'll be gone for 2 years. We can actually calculate how much money this missionary will have when he gets back from the mission. Let's take a look. So we don't know the future, but we do know the present. The present is $1,000, and we have 1 plus R. That's the interest rate. Here it's 3%. You will have to convert the interest rate by moving the decimal spot 2 places to the left. Remember, that's the Beyonce rule. To the left, to the left. Yeah. So you get 0.03. And then raised to the T power, which we said was 2. Now you can use order of operations to work on this problem. Again, order of operations says that we do parentheses first. So I'm going to do the 1 plus 0.03. So that's 1.03. So I do parentheses first. Then I do exponents. So I'm going to do 1.03, and raise it to the second power. That comes out to be 1.0609. And then times by 1,000. Multiplication is the next step of order of operations. And so the future value, the amount that this missionary will have after serving the Lord for 2 years, is $1,060.90. Ka-ching! Making money on the mission. Oh, man. Actually, now that I look at that, that doesn't look like he made that much money. So he served for 2 years and he only made $60, $61, $60.90. I guess that's not a very good per hour salary when serving a mission, but I guess it's better than nothing. You might say, Albert Einstein's wrong. That's not the 8th wonder of the world. Boo. The missionary only made $60.90. This is not for me. Well, this formula is a great formula, okay? But it does not work when you have very little T. When your wait time is small, this formula does not produce as awesome of numbers. Your T really needs to be a lot higher. In fact, most financial advisors will tell you that you need a goal, and your goal should be T of 45. Most financial advisors say, you know what? If you could start putting money away and you could put it away for 45 years, that would be amazing. That would be making this formula the most powerful math formula in your life. Let me show you why. Let's take this missionary again and play around with this. If this missionary took $1,000 and instead of still got the same return, which is that 3%, But this time, if he waited 45 years, how much money would this turn into? Okay, so he goes on a mission and he comes back and instead of taking it out, he says, you know what, I'm going to save this for my next mission when I'm older and I'm going to go with my wife. Let's find out how much he would have. Let's see. So it's F equals $1,000 plus 0.03. And instead of 2, he's going to wait 45 years. So let's see. He was 18 and he waited 45 years. 18 plus 45. That means he's going to wait until he's 63. That sounds like a good time to serve another mission. I like that. Okay, he saved $1,000 before. What is this going to turn out to be? So again, we're going to use order of operations. You can also use your calculator if you'd like to do this. Again, you'll raise it to the 45th power. You might have to use the exponent button. On your calculator, it'll either be the caret or the y to the x button. And when you do that, you should find out that this missionary is actually going to get $3,781.60. Yeah! Now that's what I'm talking about. He took $1,000 and now almost has $4,000. That's like tripling his money. Albert Einstein, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Putting the money away. Okay, that's giving up a marshmallow, having a lot more later. I like that. I like it. Well, this formula gets even better if you talk with a financial advisor. Now, financial advisors will tell you, hey, you need 45 years, but they'll also tell you that there's another secret. The next secret is with the R, the interest rate or the rate of return. If you could get a higher rate, you could actually earn more over time. And again, financial advisors will tell you that the goal is not an interest rate of 3%, which we were doing, but is an interest rate of 11%. If you could get 11% for 45 years, amazing things could happen. Let's go back to this missionary again. Let's do it one last time. Let's say the missionary, again, he's still got $1,000. He's going to wait 45 years. Okay, he's investing this money for 45 years. But instead of going to a bank and picking up 3%, he instead invests it in a different place and can get 11%. Ooh, 11%. So again, that's what financial advisors would say is the best thing to do. 45 years at 11%. Let's take a look. Here we go. I've got F equals, he's got the $1,000. He's going to put it away at an interest rate of 11%. Or a rate of return, and he's going to do it for 45 years. Well, let's see how much money he's going to end up with. Again, I'm going to use my calculator to do order of operations. I'm going to do 1 plus 0.11. I'm going to raise that to the 45th power, and then I'm going to times that by 1,000. Oh, did you guys get this? You guys do it really quick because it's amazing. This is the most shocking number ever. Look at this. 109,530. I can't believe it. Look at this number. How many people would sign up for this program? Hopefully you all have your hands up right now. If you do not understand, listen, he had $1,000. He put it away and said, you know what? I'm just not going to pull it out until I'm older and ready to retire and go on a mission. If you put away $1,000 for 45 years at 11%, that $1,000 is going to turn into $109,000. That's like giving up one marshmallow and getting 109,000 marshmallows later on. That's a lot of marshmallows. This is amazing. For every $1 saved, he earned $109. That's $1. What can you buy for $1, right? You can buy a drink at McDonald's, a pool noodle at the dollar store, a Snickers bar. I mean, if you give up $1 right now and do this and say, I'm going to give up $1, you can have 109 of them in 45 years. That's the power of compounding interest. And you have to say, ooh, what can I give up now to make this work in my life? Now, some of you might be asking, Brother O, you know, this is great, but I don't have $1,000, bro. And to make money, you have to have money. And that's kind of true. This formula does only work if you've got $1,000, and you guys are poor college students. So if you don't have $1,000, what can you do? Well, instead of investing $1,000 all at once, let's do a smaller amount. What if instead of doing $1,000, you instead do some kind of monthly thing? So instead of doing 1,000 all at once, what if you just did, I don't know, $20? Let's do $20 a month for the next 45 years. Maybe every time, every 15th of the month, you're going to put $20 into one of these accounts. What would $20 do? That's cool. I think most college students got $20. Now, some of you might be saying, "Oh, I can't do $20. Sorry, brother, I can't do it." And that means you're struggling with the whole marshmallow idea, and that's all right. You'll have to work with that, on your own. But you're gonna have to give up something. That's exactly what the whole this concept is you have to delay your self gratification. You have to say, "Ooh, I have to give something up." And maybe we start with $20. Let's try the $20 item. So here's the last formula you need to know. Like the first formula was the F equals P 1 plus R to the T. That's a really nice formula. It's just because you're doing the one-time investment. This is only one time. So that was the missionary putting $1,000 in. But we don't have $1,000, so we've got to do the monthly investment. We're going to put in $20. Let's say you can give up $20. You could use this formula right here. This is the monthly investment formula. It's a little tricky, but I think you guys could do it. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see. F equals the monthly value. We're going to put in $20. And we're going to need to do 1 plus the R, which is the 0.11 divided by 12, raised to the 12 times 45 minus 1, all over the R, 0.11 divided by 12. You're going to want to be careful on your calculator here. I'm actually going to start with this part right here. I'm going to start with the innermost part of the problem. And so I'm going to do 1 plus 0.11 divided by 12. That got me 1.009, and then raise that to the 12 times 45. Now you'll want to use parenthesis around this in your calculator. Then I do minus 1. Good. Now I'll times it by 20, times by 20. And then I'll divide it by, and I'm going to use parenthesis here as well, 0.11 divided by 12. When I do that, I find out that if I put away $20 per month for 45 years at 11%, that is going to turn into $298,968. You guys, you all need to start saving $20 right now. Saving $20 for the next 45 years at 11% is going to get you $300,000. That's like buying a house. That's a huge house. That's 2 houses here in Idaho. Okay. Oh my goodness. You have to do this. You got to start putting away $20. $20. There might be a few of you who, Brother O, make me a millionaire. Yeah, I know. Some of you are, I can feel that question. So let's talk about it. Financial advisors, what do they say? To make this happen, there is a magic number we're going to add to our goals. So again, 3 goals to make this work. 1, you've got to have 45 years. Whatever your age is, take your age right now and do plus 45. That's how long it's going to take, okay? The next thing, you got to have a goal of 11%. We'll talk about where you can get 11% in just a moment. And then the last goal is that you need a monthly amount of $67. Take a look. If you put 67 into this formula at 11% for 45 years and did it in the calculator, I'm going to actually, let's see here. You guys, you won't be able to see it. I'm just going to do it on my own screen here. I would do 67 times 1 plus. Make sure you can get it to work in your calculator because you're going to have a couple problems you got to solve here. Minus 1, close parenthesis, and then I divide that by 0.11 over 12. Oh yeah, it did it. It did it, guys. Boom. The future value comes out to be 100154043. Boom. $1 million. You gotta put away $67. That should be your goal. So if you're thinking about what a marshmallow is, I've got to give up the marshmallow. If you want $1 million, you got to give up a marshmallow. You got to give up $67 a month. What is that? What would you have to sacrifice? What do you have to give up to make that possible? Again, you're going to have to delay some gratification. What do I have to give up? You will have to give up something. Dave Ramsey, a very popular financial advisor, says you have to live today like no other, so in the future you can live like no other. Giving up $67 right now and investing it would be, and starting that routine in your life would be super powerful, because you'd be starting to apply this most powerful math force in your life. You'd be giving up the marshmallow so you can have more later on. $67. I'll tell you what my wife did. I learned this lesson when I was 21 years old, just like you guys. Well, some of you guys. I just got home from my mission. I was just married, took an econ class from Brother Hershey in the econ department, and he taught me this lesson. I was like, oh, we have to do this. And so I turned to my wife, I went home, I was like, what are we going to give up? So we got $67 to be able to do this. One thing we gave up, and this doesn't have to be for you, but the one thing we gave up is movies. We decided we would never, ever go to a movie theater again. That's what we did. We said, you know what? Let's just not go to movies anymore. We were going maybe twice a month. But when you start buying those tickets for the movie theater, and then you buy the popcorn and the soda and the gas, it starts to add up. And we decided, we would wait. We would give up the movie, the new release of the movie in the theater, and instead go to Redbox in 3 or 4 months and get it for $1. At the time, Redbox was $1. And so that's how we did it. Some of you might want to cut out, I don't know, eating out. I don't know, that may be something you cut out. Maybe some of you are going to work extra. That's a possibility. Maybe you'll get a second job or a job that'll allow you to do this. But you've got to start investing now, because you need the 45 years. Okay, let's answer another question. So what do you got to give up? That's an important question. Another question you need to ask yourself is, where do I get 11%? Ooh, where do you go to get 11%? Because I'll tell you, there's no bank that's going to get you 11% right now. If you went to a bank and you said, hey, what's my savings account getting? Your savings account is probably getting less than, I would say probably less than 0.5%, less than 1%. Let's put that means your R is 0.01. That's really bad. We need to get 11%. So savings accounts, checkings accounts, those are not actually investing. It's just a good place to put your money in the short term. But if you want to start investing, you've got to put it somewhere else. You can get higher rates when you take out a CD or a savings bond. Sometimes you can get rates that are in the 2 or 3%. So like that missionary, he was probably getting a 3% CD or a 3% bond, which you can get at your local banks or financial institutions. But if you're going to get 11%, if you're looking for 11%, there's only a few places that get 11%. And so I want to talk about that. The one that most people do this with, and financial advisors would encourage you to do, is the entire stock market. Now, you got to be careful here, because sometimes when I start teaching this lesson, people get really excited and they're like, oh, I'm going to buy a stock, or, oh, I bought a stock before. This is not how you get 11%. The only way you can get 11% is by buying the entire stock market. You have to own every single company, own every stock. Okay. Some people, when they think about investing, they say, oh, I'm going to pick my favorite company, Apple or Google or Facebook or Amazon. And they say they buy, $50 or whatever they do, and they think they're investing. That's not actually how this works. If you're going to get the 11%, you have to own every stock. You've got to own every one. You got to own Walmart and McDonald's. You got to own Lockheed Martin and Boeing. You have to own all of them. ExxonMobil and everything. And so to do that, you're going to want to open up what's called a mutual fund. A mutual fund is a company, and you'll have to Google this. I'm not going to recommend any companies today. This will have to be something you guys do. Be aware you have to be 18 years or older to start investing. So if you're a 17-year-old here at BYU Idaho, sorry, you can't do this yet. No life lesson for you. But you would start a mutual fund, and you're going to want to Google how to start a mutual. You'll Google, different mutual fund companies, and you're going to want one that buys stocks, the stock market. Specifically, I would recommend the S&P 500. That's the top 500 stocks. When you do that, basically you're joining a fund with a bunch of other people, and all these people are contributing a little money in each day, or not each day, but each month. They're all putting in a little money each month. Maybe you're doing 67, maybe this guy's doing 100, maybe this guy's loaded and he's doing 200. But basically you do that, and the fund then goes, the mutual fund then goes and buys all stocks. They're going to buy Apple for you. They're going to buy Amazon for you. They're going to buy Berkshire Hathaway for you. They're going to buy they're going to buy Yum Brands for you. They're going to buy all of these companies so that you own them all. Because for you to do it on your own, it's impossible. This is how you would get 11%. Historically, the stock market, ever since it's existed, has returned about 11% per year. And so that's what you need to do. Investing $67 a month for 45 years at 11% will get you $1 million. And you're going to want to do it in a mutual fund. Again, in a savings account, your money's not really invested. It's just saved. Now, some people freak out about the math, and I don't want people to freak out about the math. And so I'm going to give you this awesome website here. It's called investor.gov. It's created by the government to do the math for you, basically. And I'll include this in our website. But if you just Google investor.gov compound interest, it'll show you this right here and provide you all the information. So I'll do exactly what we did. I said, hey, our initial investment is $0. We're going to do $67 a month for 45 years at 11% interest. You can leave this one blank here. And then we're actually investing every month. And when you push calculate, you'll see that in 45 years, you'll have that $1 million that we just calculated. And they'll map it out for you to show you how much over time you'll actually have. Woo! That's good. Notice, this is interesting. Notice that you're getting $1 million and you actually only invested $36,000 over the time. So $20 a month for 45 years only comes out to be $36,000. That's an amazing deal that you just got to start. Again, maybe you don't have $67 and you want to start with 50. Well, you can put 50 in there. That's cool. Push the calculate button and you would see that $50, that's still going to get you $750,000. That's pretty awesome. Okay. You can play around with this calculator. Maybe you'll say, oh, I want to start with 100 and then I'm going to do $20 every month for the next 45 years. Push calculate and you'll get an idea of what will happen for your situation. Again, 11% is based off of the stock market. It won't be 11% every year, but the average since the stock market's been around is 11%. And that's the key. You want to start getting involved in that right away. Now, some of you are probably saying, Brother O, you're awesome. Thanks for teaching me life lesson number 1. I am going to start that. I'm going to start right away when I graduate. Now, this is the last thing I want to share with you. Waiting is probably the worst thing that you could do, not starting now. Basically, that means you'd be eating the marshmallows for the next 5 years. And that's not smart because your time is the most important thing. If you wait 4 years or 5 years till you get a job, your T is going to decrease. You'll no longer have a T of 45. Your T will be reduced to 40. You lose 5 years. These are a critical 5 years of you right now being in college. If you wait 5 years to start, and I know that makes sense because you're like, oh, well, then I'll have a job. But watch, if you start this plan in 5 years, you'll no longer have $1 million. In fact, when I push the button to calculate, you'll only have 500,000. You're going to lose $500,000 because you wait 5 years. Oh no. You're going to lose $500,000 because you don't want to start now? Start now. You've got to start now. Remember, moral of the story of life lesson number 1 is to start investing now. You're going to want to take a look into a mutual fund, because a mutual fund means you're going to be purchasing stocks, and you're going to let the mutual fund company deal with it. You're not picking the stocks. Let them do it. You need to, the goal is $67 at 11% for 45 years. That'll equal 1 million. Think about what you can do. You can serve another mission. You can assist your kids in their education. You can help pay medical bills. You can pay off your house so you're debt free. Giving up a little now, giving up that marshmallow now, can be a lot of marshmallows in the future. That's my life lesson number 1. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in class next time. This is Brother O signing out.